welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. I am here today with a little Tips and Tricks Tuesday for you. I have a fun trick that I just learned to help in applying all of these bits and pieces on my wreath and getting them in just the right spot when you glue it down. So we're going to go ahead and get started and make this pretty card. And as you can see, it actually highlights two sets. Some of the dies come from the Dainty Flowers or Dainty Delights die set. And then some of them are coming from the Flowers of Home, and the stamps will come from the Blessings of Home. Now the Blessings of Home will be retiring very soon, and as I mentioned in my last video, I'm trying to kind of have a play with a lot of my retiring products. So let's start with a little bit of stamping. We are going to stamp on, I'm going to stamp on my envelope, and I'm going to stamp on the inside. And I have some pieces already pre-cut here to make it a little bit easier. All of my little die pieces are already cut out and ready to go. There we go. So, but I want to stamp on my envelope. I got something on there, and I want to stamp on the inside. And we want to stamp on a strip. I apologize. My husband was sick last week and he seems to have shared it with me, and so I'm a bit congested this morning, and I do apologize. And in fact, today I'm trying to pre-record quite a few videos as I'm going to be out of town. And so if I sound like this through several weeks worth of videos, it is not that I have been sick that long. It will just be because I'm recording them. I'm trying to record them all today. So let me pull out my, this is the large flower. Is it the large one I used? No, I used the small one. Isn't that pretty? And then we also need Have a Perfect Birthday. Let me get a block here. Will that fit on there? No, let's get a bigger block. Big block, and we don't need quite so big. There we go. And I'm going to use some early espresso. And the reason I pulled in some scrap paper is because I only want just this little corner of flowers. So I'm going to stamp it in this corner. There we go. And I'm going to do the same with the envelope. There we go. And we'll go set that aside to be cleaned. And now, I am going to do, before I stamp this, I'm going to do a little bit of shading while I have my scrap paper out here. So let me grab, oh, I should leave that open. I'm going to need it in a minute. But I'm going to open up some crumb cake, grab my blending brush, and I just want to add a little bit of shading around the edges of my inside panel, just so that it's not such a sharp difference between this and the background paper. And it gives it that little bit of antique-y look, vintage look. There we go. And I think I might do a little bit to the envelope as well. It might help to distract from my little marking on my envelope. Yeah, I think I'll do all the way around on this one. I'm not having to tap onto here as much because my crumb cake really needs to be re-inked, I think. It doesn't have a lot. It's kind of dried a little bit, so it's going on very soft and smooth right now. Okay, so crumb cake can get put away. And we can move those out of the way. And now I need my strip of paper. And we're going to stamp Have a Perfect Birthday. I need to move my card over here where I can see it better. There we go. And I'm going to go slightly off to the center. Actually, I do want my scrap paper back here for a minute, and I'll show you why. Because this is a red rubber one, I'm not going to grab my Stamparatus out. What I'm going to do is actually, I'm lining up the bottom with this just dark line on here just to see how straight my stamp. Oh yes, it's a nice straight one. Good. I don't have to adjust it all. I can just pretty much stamp it straight because apparently the sticker is well lined up with my stamp. So I'm just going to stamp down, and oh, I did it crooked. Well, that's okay. There's another side. I'm going to get my head in the way. I apologize. I want to see straight on. There we go. That's better. Okay. Stamping is done. I'm going to go ahead and trim this piece down real quick. Where are my paper snips? There they are. I'm going to trim this down to about here. I might have to trim a little bit more. And I'm going to trim off there. Put a little banner end on it. And that's ready to go for later. Okay, now comes the fun part. Where are all my pieces and parts? Here is my card base. I'm not going to fold it just yet because I want it to be able to lay flat when I'm doing this next part. I'm going to go ahead and adhere. This piece has been embossed already, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down. Now, because it has been embossed, I've mentioned this many times, you can see it's not laying down flat on here. So I'm going to put adhesive all the way around rather than just a few on a little bit on each side, because I want it to make sure it lays flat on my card. There we go. Oh, my nose. I hope this clears up soon. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I got sticky on my finger. Stick this down. There we go. And now comes the part of the trick. So this is a product called Press and Seal, and I don't know if it's available in other countries, but here in America it's like a plastic wrap, a food wrap, but it has these tiny little bumps on it that almost act like suction cups. And I'm going to cut this one in half because I want 2 pieces. There we go. And you can see on the one side it's somewhat sticky, but it's not. It's almost like Post-it note, but not. It's like these little bumps in here almost become like suction cups, I guess. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it to help hold these down while I'm figuring out exactly where I want things to go. Now, I'm going to start with this large die that comes from the Dainty Flowers, or the Dainty Delight set. And I'm going to trim it because I want a round circle, not an oval. And this is way too big to do a circle on, on here. So I'm going to figure out exactly where I want this to kind of get going. And I'm just going to gently, excuse me, push down. Actually, I'm going to use the other piece because this one's got a wrinkle in it and it keeps lifting up on me. I'll use the other piece in a second. There we go. This is going to lay flat. So I know my 3 flowers are going to start here, so I'm going to start with this piece, and I'm just going to gently lay it down. But this is just tacky enough to kind of hold things still for you so they don't wobble around a lot. Tuck that one in there. And tuck this one in, if I can pick them up. And now we have a bit of a circle going. Now we know what size our circle is going to be. And now I can take all my other little doodads that I've cut out. These pieces all came from the Blessings of Home bundle set. And I'm just going to lay them there. Tuck some underneath. Will you stay still? It's sticking to me as I'm doing it. Tuck that one under there. How many do I have? I think I have 5 of them. Okay, this is going to take a few minutes, but not too bad. Get back around here. Let's see. You shifted on me. Get underneath there and then push. Stick to the paper. There we go. Stick. And one more. Okay, I really don't need that there anymore. And then the last ones I'm going to put in after it's already glued together. So now what I'm going to do, and I didn't want to stick this down really, really hard because it can actually tear your paper when you pull it apart. But now I'm going to take the second piece that I have, and I'm going to try and grab the pieces here with it. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to carefully pull this piece away. And now I can apply my glue to the back of that, and it's going to go right back on my card exactly the way I want it. So let me grab my multi-purpose glue here, and I'm going to go ahead and start applying some glue on the exposed areas. Trying to make sure I get enough, but not so that it's going to be sticking out everywhere. But you want to make sure everything gets grabbed. And some of the ones that are up, that are on the top part, you don't want them to be grabbed because you want it to be kind of loose. There we go. Let's move that one around a little. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and set it down in the middle. And I like the fact that this is clear so I can see through it. And now I'm going to set this down and grab a large block, actually my really large block, and let that dry for a few minutes while I assemble my flowers. I have here the little daisies from the Dainty Delight. Daisies are my absolute favorite flower. They have been since I was a little girl, and I just love daisies of all kind. Even, you know, I know they're not technically all considered daisies, but any of the flowers that are shaped like this, I love them. I think they're so cute. It's kind of my style. I'm not a super elegant kind of lady. I'm more of a country girl. And that's what I see daisies as. A little more down to earth. There we go. And I'm just sticking two of these together, and I'm offsetting the petals just a bit. Oh, come on, offset. Ooh, don't do that. Now I need a little more glue. These things are so tiny, I almost need to get my tweezers out to work with them, because my fingers just are too clumsy sometimes. There we go. And last one. Can you hear my my smart device in the background telling me I just got a package? Oh, come on, fingers. Why are you not working today? Oh, really? Now the glue is no longer on there. You're making this much harder than you should be. There you go. There. Wow. Okay. So, those are on. And I did do a little bit of shading on these on my previous ones, and I forgot to do that. I wonder if I could do it while they're already glued together. I usually do it when they're not. But let's try. Let's give it a try. Let me go ahead and put this away for the moment. Grab my scrap paper back in here. And my crumb cake again. Actually, did I use crumb cake? No, I used petal pink, I think. Oh, I gotta find petal pink. There it is. And grab my pink. Ooh, that's got a lot of pink still on it from my last project. There we go. And because it has, I'm going to use this to hold it still so I don't have my fingers all in it. Oh yeah, you could totally see the difference there. Oh, I like it. Okay, add a little bit of color. Can you see the difference? I think my pokey tool might work better for this. There we go. Gotta be a little bit careful because you don't want to rip off your petals. There we go. There's 1, 2, and last one. And actually, I think on my other one, I might have used crumb cake. We'll have to look at them and see if there's a big difference in them. Just to give it more of a rusty color, rusty look to it. Okay, those are done. And now I need to add the centers. Actually, before I add the centers, what I want to do is give a little bit of shaping to these. And basically, I'm going to use my fingers to do it by bending the petals back with my fingers, holding the center so they don't rip. But then also, I'm pushing up at the base of it so that these petals have a little bit of shape to them. They're not flat. There we go. So there's one. There we go. 2, and last one. I think these daisies are just the cutest thing. I just wish my fingers would work with them a little better. There we go. Okay, now we need to put some centers in them. There we have my 3 little Oreo cookies. That's what they look like. It was really funny when I first did this. I cut these out with this same vanilla color because I wanted kind of all the colors to be the same, except once I shaded them, they look like little Ritz crackers, and I was like, no, we're not going to go with that. Let's go with Oreo cookies instead. But those are the centers for our flower, and I am going to pop them up on dimensionals, and mind you, you're going to need to cut one of these small ones even smaller, and I've already done that. So I'm just going to stick, this is like a 1/4 of one of those little dimensionals. Stick those on there. And then I'm going to take these, put it in the palm of my hand, and then just use something round and kind of cup it. You can use a stylus, you can use the back of a paintbrush. Whatever you want, just to give it, again, we don't want these to be flat. We want to give them a little dimension. So, there we go. Those are ready. Peel off the backing. Peel off the backing. And one more, come on, there we go. Okay, so all the backings are off. Turn this over. You know what? I am going to get my tweezers out because I just can't. My fingers can't do that. There we go. Much easier. If I can even pick them up with the tweezers. Oh, you know it would work even better than the tweezers. I'm so silly. I'm so silly. Turn over. Turn over. Oh yeah, much easier. Much easier. There we go. Okay, my flowers are ready to go. Now, let's see if our wreath is all dry. I'm going to peel this off. Now, you do want to be careful when you pull this off that you don't rip off any of the leaves that aren't glued down. So I like to go in the direction that the leaves are, that the wreath is going. There, see, it lifted that one up. There we go. And ta-da! There's my wreath all stuck down. And grab, actually before I do the rest of the front, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my inside panel. Excuse me. Oh, that's an envelope. That's not the panel. That's the panel. Front, inside. Now I can go ahead and fold making sure my corners line up before I burnish that down. Now we have a few of these little pieces that I'm going to tuck in. And then of course I have my flowers. Now my flowers are going to go about here. So let's go ahead and glue these in. This I can just put a little bit of glue on the bottom and tuck it in wherever I want it to go. There we go. There's one. Let's put one under this branch. I'm trying to hide the ends of them, the bottom of our pieces. There we go. And one more over here somewhere. Go under that leaf. There we go. Pretty. And then these, let's check and see. Yep, need to trim this down a little. Now for this, I wanted it to kind of stick up a little bit in the middle, so I'm going to give it a little shape. Just using my fingers, just gently curling it. And then I am going to take a dimensional or two. I think I'll put two little ones where I want it lifted up. And then we're just going to apply a little bit of adhesive here and here. Take off the backings. And this is going to go like that. There we go. And now we're just going to add some adhesive to the back of our flowers and put them on, and our card will be done. 1, 2, 3. Where's my lid? And let's see, there's my middle one. This one I want to tuck underneath. And this one tuck underneath. Make sure it's hiding the end of my sentiment banner. And there you go. A little bit easier way of putting these all on without having glue everywhere and getting them exactly where you want them. I just thought that was the coolest trick to use. Now you do notice it did tear the paper a little bit, so you don't want to push too hard when you're pushing it down onto it. But yeah, what an easy way to do that. And I hope you enjoyed this. And until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.